I think I can't remember the exact person who said it for some odd reason. The name just rolled out of my head. But there's a historical figure who sits at the top of an arch, and the historical figure is continuously behind him or her. This muse has wreckage on wreckage, and that is supposed to be what the history is, a series of unfortunate events. And this figure is a priori, so it is facing forward and back. What is your conception of history?
That's a really interesting definition, actually. The idea of looking forward and backwards as well. I mean, I think, I actually studied history at university, which, to be honest,
It's
was
Walter
my
Benjamin.
second.
It's Walter
Yeah.
Benjamin. Angelus Novus.
Ah, very nice. Okay, history. So the irony is, history was always my second choice behind English. We can blame that one on the West African family ideal, but nevertheless, I've always been research minded, and I certainly don't like to speak on anything I don't actually know of or understand. So in that sense, it's still pretty apposite for someone like me. I think of history as something that is both. Actually not just both. In fact, that it's congealed. It's like to me, it's like a meal a heavy oily meal you've left out too long. In certain ways, there's all sorts of aspects that are just commingling because because there are just so many elements. There's elements of record, of verifiability, of propaganda, even. I think history is always worth both engaging with and also interrogating. We have a lot of that now, of course. With millennials and Generation Z members who are always questioning everything, whether they're doing it elegantly or inelegantly is kind of a matter of perspective. But they're looking to question.
Can I question two elements that you have just brought up? Because
go ahead.
Firstly, I wanted to ask you: how does this conception that you made of history that you just defined, how does it relate to photography? Do you think that photography is a continuous archive? Is photography for you just a way of recording things as they are? You kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier, saying that photography is as painterly as a painting in reality. It's not as black and white.
Well, certainly. I did. Yeah, I was thinking a lot about the historical aspects before I got on the call, and one thing that sort of struck me with photography and history is that I actually think photography has, if not a responsibility, definitely a medium and an ability in which to record. But I also feel that for me, I know the best photography does multiple things, which recording is only one part, and it's it's also it comes back to telling stories to me, for telling narratives, for expressing cultures and modes and ideals, both aesthetically and I guess historically. I mean, one of the amongst the various reasons I'm not very interested in the idea that everyone can be a photographer these days is because because it's, and this is not to pretentiously pretend that photography is a higher calling by any means. It is very much beautiful and noble art, but not a higher calling.
I have to question you.
I don't necessarily. Yeah, but let's come back to it in a second.
Go on.
Because I think it's important to think about what you can actually get out of photography when you ask about using it as a tool to record. It absolutely records, but it's I think things worth recording are what they say about the age. At the end of the day, or the event. If you basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you're able to capture even just one image in your entire lifetime, that absolutely says something about the age you're living in, then you have literally made a great recording or documentation of that age. It's obviously very difficult to do. No one just steps out and goes, "Yeah, did it, got it. I can die happy. I can retire in glory after becoming the toast of Photo London."